Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video I'm going to be taking a third and potentially final look at this Lego Creator 3-in-1 Cool Cars set. So I've already done a video where I looked at the main model. And I've already done a video where I looked at the first alternate model, which is kind of this open wheel race car, Indy car, F1 car type model here, which means in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the third official alternate model here, which seems to be a big truck is what it says on the box. And it's I think it's just like the cab of a semi-truck sort of deal there. So I'm kind of excited about that. And I may have forgot to mention, this is set number 4939. It has 206 pieces, and I paid $30 for this set. And this set was released in 2007. I bought a sealed copy, so the $30 is part of playing the kind of vintage, paying for the kind of vintage tax there a little bit. And so far I've been okay with the kind of the price that I paid, and I am excited about this last alternate model. And as I said in the last video, there's actually some really cool like community mocks using the parts in this set, including some that used like 99 or even 100% of the pieces in this set, which I might do a video about making some of those and just giving my quick thoughts. If people are interested in that, please let me know, because and if you're not, you can let me know as well. I might do that just for me anyway, but either way, in this video I'm going to build this and share my thoughts on it. So while I disassemble the first alternate build and while I build the third alternate build, the big semi-truck cab model, I will speed the video up and then I'll slow it back down to review the third alternate model for this set. So until then, enjoy! Okay, so while we look at the disassembly for the alternate build for this Lego Creator 3-in-1 Cool Cars set, this is the disassembly of the open wheel race car. And then while we look at the build for the third or the last build for this model, which is a big truck, kind of the cab for a pickup truck, I just wanted to say thanks for watching and then remind you, if you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. That stuff helps me a lot. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and everybody out there who watches and likes and comments helps me, so I appreciate it. We start out here with the kind of base of the cab, and I thought this was really interesting because a lot of this is 6 wide and even some of it is like 4 wide, where the trailer kind of attaches, and then also building up the rear wall of the cab and then switching to do the whole front and the roof as a sub-assembly and then the front end as a sub-assembly. I thought was actually kind of advanced and kind of interesting building techniques compared to some of the techniques that were used in the other models, and this set used almost all of the pieces, which is really cool. And now on to my review for the alternate model for this set. Okay, this is the third model, or the last alternate model, official alternate model for this Lego Creator 3-in-1, the Cool Cars set. And this appears to be like a semi-truck cab or something like that. So the trailer would attach back here, and this is what would pull it and everything. And I'm actually pretty impressed by this. There's some interesting stuff in here, and I like it. So that's pretty cool. The first thing to make note of, there are no minifigures in this set, but I wanted to point out the pieces that were used in the original model, the main model, but not used in this one. So not too many pieces left over here. One of these bigger plates, this longer plate, this one, and this one even could have been used in here actually pretty easily. Same for this tile. A couple of these 1x1s, including the a good amount of the translucent black, trans brown, dark translucent from the olden days, and just 2 of these vented pieces. The pieces over here are the extra pieces that are put in the bags because they're so light, so that was what you could expect from that. So this actually used I think a pretty good amount of pieces, and more pieces than I maybe thought it was going to use, which is pretty cool. It used a lot more than the first alternate model, which was the open wheeled race car, and I think that makes sense. But this doesn't necessarily feel like it's comparable in size to the main model. I suppose it's a good bit taller. It's, as far as like how wide it is, it seems about right, but I'll talk about that more in a second here. So not too many leftover pieces. They did a pretty good job, and like I said in the last video, there are some community made alternate builds using the parts from this set that look really cool, and there's some of them that use like all of the pieces, which is really pretty interesting. And so that's great. And with that out of the way, we can kind of move into this. So you start off by building the kind of base here, so using one of these bigger plates with a 2x4 on either side. What is this, a 4x8? And then you immediately put on the axle bricks, or the 1x2s with the Technic pin there, to connect all those pieces. We add a few like headlight bricks on the back, bracket up front, some studs on the side bricks in the middle, and then pretty early on you do add this detail on the side. I'm really glad that this made use of those couple drum lacquered silver pieces in there, and I think it made nice use of the few black cheese wedges that are in this set. There's not too many of them compared to the yellow or the dark translucent ones, so that's good. I think these look pretty nice here on the side, so that's good. It's good for the shaping, and it also just adds like a lot of detail towards the back. Then we do add like another one of these big plates and some other studs on top kind of stuff up another layer. And actually, like the main car, you can see there's some holes in here there where this model is just see-through kind of down by the wheels, which isn't terrible and could maybe be adjusted. I'm not positive there's a way to make that a little more obvious. I think there might be, actually, so that's maybe something to consider. And then working on the front, you actually build up the kind of back of this, the roof and this back wall here first, and there is a little bit of internal details. There are doors on this, so I can swing those open and we can see in there. There's not a steering wheel. The steering wheel is actually used on the back, which is, I believe, the spot where the trailer would attach to this. And while we're back here, we can look at that. So we have the back kind of bumper here. It does extend past out the wheels. This is 8 wide for like at the back here, but up at the front it's only like 6 wide. The wheels make it about 8 wide there, so that's good. We did use all of the translucent red studs here, and that's just a really simple technique with a bracket coming off the, headlight bricks coming off of the back, so that's all fine. And we do work on building this wall up, and so no steering wheel in there, but we do have the lever in there. I don't know if that's supposed to be the gear shift or something like that, or it's maybe supposed to look like a windshield wiper, and it's like inside for whatever reason. But we do have that. We don't really have seats, I don't think, but we do have these tiles out here which kind of break up the cab in a little bit of a weird way. This is not minifig scale, and I don't think you could fit a minifigure in here unless you took these pieces out. Then you might be able to, actually, because there's some distance down in here that a minifigure could maybe sit in. But we do build up the back wall and the roof. There's some fine kind of detailing around the back to change up the texture and everything like that, so that's kind of cool. And then the last part of the build is building out the front of this, which I was really excited to see how this was done. And it's actually I think feels slightly more modern than some of the stuff from the other models, and I have to be a little bit delicate taking this off. It's not, I don't think, intended to come off super easy, but we kind of build this all with what we have in the set, so we have to make do with what we have. And Um, this ends up being kind of a standard build with studs on top, but then when you connect it to the model, you turn it over. So this whole front end here with the kind of like grill and everything and different dark translucent pieces for maybe lights, the different color here, the windscreen from the main one, but turned on instead of being like this, turned vertically, which is nice. And then we add these kind of details up here for maybe mirrors, and we add the doors, and this just attaches right here on these two little brackets, and then you can see inside where these plates kind of jump out a little bit, which is a little bit weird, I think. So I'm not sure what that's actually supposed to be. If you took those out, a minifigure might go in there, but none of the other builds in this set were kind of minifig scale anyway, so not a big deal. And then this attaches really nice, and the way that this was all done and the way that this attaches feels, I think, a little more modern to me than some of the other stuff. It's a pretty basic technique, but it's a good technique, and I think the effect is achieved really, really well. There's pretty minimal gapping here. We do have like opening for the windows there. I don't mind that. There's a little bit of gapping up here, but not too much. And overall, I think that's really helps complete the build. The windscreen is not super solid of a connection just because the way that they used to do these, and maybe they still do these, but it has kind of the like areas up at the front where it's studded on, but then not so much at the back, and there's nothing kind of going over the top of it that would help hold it down. I think the stuff up here is good. Nice use of these slopes, good detail around the back. Color blocking is pretty good. There's just not that many colors in this set, so it's just a lot of yellow, a little bit of dark bluish gray, a little bit of black, and then that kind of like red or dark red or reddish brown or whatever that is comes in just a little bit there. And then we do have the wheels, which is like the last thing you add on, and you flip these wheels around compared to what we had on the cool car main build and the kind of open wheel race car there. So we have these, it's a totally different look, which is really smart and cool, so that's great. And this is a nice little toy here, and I'm pretty impressed by how many of the pieces it used. I actually wasn't really expecting that, so that's pretty cool. And this feels like it could be in a, you know, it's not minifig scale, but if this was on the street in somebody's Lego city, I don't know if I would like call it out necessarily. It is maybe a little bit big. A lot of it is, I would consider it to be a lot of it I would consider to be 6 wide, but it may be that it's 8 wide in places that matter, like right at the back and where the wheels are. A little bit out here it's 8 wide. So that's that, and I think this is a pretty good alternate model. I might like this one a good amount more than the first alternate model that I looked at, which was the kind of open wheel race car here. So this is pretty good. And one of the things I did see when I looked at the community alternate builds for the pieces in this set, I did mention there were like people who took the pieces from this set and kind of made like a Luke's land speeder type set from Star Wars. But with these pieces, there were some people who made different race cars, hot rods, dragsters. There was people who did different kinds of trucks, like maybe a European style truck, which to me this felt kind of like a European truck. But then they did another one which has like a much bigger front end on it of a truck, of a semi cab, but instead of like having the cab where the driver sits be like really close to the front, it's got like the big front kind of part on it here, and I think that looks actually really interesting. I'd like to see how that was done while still having, you know, all of the other stuff back here, which it looked like it did. So I'm kind of interested in that, and I think the designer did a really good job with this. I don't build a ton of Lego trucks. I am really excited. As of recording this, there was recently revealed to be a Lego brand Lego truck truck, which looks awesome, and I'm really, really excited to build that when it releases. So I'm very, very excited, and this feels like similar to that. It's a nice little thing. As far as Creator 3-in-1s go, I think this is a pretty strong model, potentially strong enough to be on its own, stronger than the open wheel race car. I thought it was a more interesting build, a little bit finicky at some points, but really cool, and I think the end effect is really nice. So I like this. I don't know if I like it as much as the main build. The main build had good things and bad things, but overall it was fine. And then, the other thing to make note of is for how old this set is, there's not nearly as many visible studs as there was on these other two builds. So the top up here feels very finished. You got the couple studs there. That feels on par with like modern Lego. Couple studs up here, not a big deal. Sure, at the back there's a few, not too much. And then the doors, and if they had kind of the pieces available, maybe they would have popped a tile or the vented pieces on those or anything like that, or you theoretically could do it with some of these other stuff in here, but that doesn't bother me too much. It gives a little bit of texture there, a little more detail, and that works for me. So the other models just had a lot of studs on top stuff and left a lot of the top of plates and bricks visible, and this doesn't have that in the same way, which is pretty cool, and is one of the reasons, like the Rotor Rescue, like compared to the plane or the helicopter versus some of the boat alternate builds for that set, which was from 2009. This one, the Cool Cars set from 2007, like these couple models felt a little more 2007 or a little more retro, a little more vintage Lego design sort of philosophy, and this one feels slightly more modern, which kind of reinforces my feeling that this is maybe in the transitional period for the Lego company and how they were, the Lego group, and how they were designing stuff and everything like that. So I do really, really like this. This is pretty cool. Very, very fun. I think, I already kind of touched on the pieces that were left over that were in the main build and not in this one. These are the extra pieces that you would expect as the ones that Lego add an additional one, because when they're adding pieces to bags, they don't weigh enough to immediately register, and so they throw an extra one in there to make sure they get it. And this set is 206 pieces, and I paid $30 for it. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So this uses like 90% of the pieces. As far as volume goes, it's a little bit different because there's a couple bigger ones left over, not a ton of little ones left over, but there's just a lot of little pieces in the set, which is weird. It feels weird to have like a pretty, like the main build for the car is bigger than I thought it would be for 206 pieces. And the price per piece doesn't make a ton of sense. I think in 2007 when this was released, it retailed for like 13, 14, 15 around there, which is a good bit ago, but I've already talked about it in the other builds for this same set that, the $30 was okay to me just to pay the nostalgia tax and the vintage sealed tax and everything there. So I think actually $30 is about what the market price is for a sealed copy of this. If I had found a used copy of this at a Lego resale store or something like that, it might have been a pickup. So to get this for $15 would have been, I think, a pretty good deal. But I don't feel terrible about the $30 that I paid for it. And overall, I liked it. So that's cool. And again, I'll just reiterate that I do want to look at some of the mock builds that people have made instructions for this set, because they looked really interesting to me. And if you're interested in that, let me know. Maybe it's something I'll do for members or patrons or something like that. Maybe it's something I'll just do for myself, but I may record my thoughts about it. Maybe I'll look at several of the those community models and I'll just give my opinion very briefly, which would be hard for me to do apparently, but it's something that I would try to do, so I could maybe talk about like three more additional models that aren't from Lego Lego designers, but are from other, like official Lego designers, but are from other kind of builders out in the world who shared their instructions. And I think that's something I probably will do. So I'm looking forward to that. If you're interested in that, let me know and subscribe to my channel. That helps me a lot. And I think that's it for this set for now. So if you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including maybe some more alternate builds for this Lego Creator 3-in-1 Cool Cars set, but then tons of other Lego sets from all different themes, all different shape, size, price point, piece count. Old sets, new sets, your retired sets, used sets, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming Lego videos. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. It means a lot to me. So I would hope I could get there at some point. And I appreciate everybody that subscribes, likes, comments, watches. Any of that stuff is great. So I appreciate it. But if you're not subscribed, maybe consider subscribing. I notice and it helps. So thank you very much. And then if you wanted to support this channel and support my videos here, you could do that here on YouTube with membership supers and thanks. And I have the Patreon. It's in the video description. It's on my channel page, patreon.com/sobricks. So if you're interested in that, maybe consider checking it out. Again, that does help me a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. So thank you very much. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.